All right, welcome back. I'm going to be your host today, Jeremy Greenwood, here with the rest of the Berg boys. Mike Lennon's up in Canada, Rosh is in Colorado. As far as I know, Matt, you're still in lacrosse.
Yes, I am.
Uh, Guys, weekend week. I got a bit of a cough today, so if I kind of go mute real quick, you guys know. You probably could see me coughing, but wanted to thank our three visitors to the podcast last week right away, Johnny Carson and Mr. Finkel. We named our episode after you last week. I kind
Ray?
of there. Ray, yep, and actually sent them a box with some canned koozies, some hats, and some M&Ms. So just wanted to thank you guys again for coming on, and hopefully finish the season strong here. But who wants to go first in terms of weekend?
I'll rip. I'll go. We made the trek down to Colorado Springs, which is about an hour or so away on Friday night for week 9 of our season. We have a 10-week season. We play 10 regular season games, 5 non-conference, 5 conference. So this is our 4th conference game. We won 49-7. We actually I've never seen it before. We got a safety and 3 touchdowns in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Wow.
It was the very first snap went over their quarterback's head. We got a safety. They punted it. Our offense scored 2 plays later. Their first possession, their next on offense, we picked it. Our offense went and scored. Next series, we picked it again. Our offense went down and scored. So it was pretty crazy. But yesterday, just kind of, had our football meeting in the morning, went to our freshman and JV football games because the freshman and JV playing Saturdays out here. And then kind of just hung out with Cash most of the day. Alexis had to work. So as Cash calls it, we had a daddy day. So we kind of hung out, played, jumped on the trampoline, did some yard work, just kind of hung out. And then today, similar type stuff. And now just planning for our next opponent, which is a rival. There's 4 high schools in Parker, Colorado, and we're one of them, and the opponent we got on Friday is one of them. So, and that's the last regular season game. If we win that, we're already back-to-back conference champs. If we win that, it locks us into a 2 or a 3 seed in playoffs, which means we would get a first round bye and then home field basically almost all the way to the end.
So who would be the 1 seed?
Valor Christian.
Valor Christian. And how big is Valor Christian compared to you?
Smaller, but it's a private school. Their school looks like Hogwarts. I'll try to find a picture of it to send to you guys.
So kind of like an Edgewood in terms of Wisconsin speaking.
Yeah, but bigger. They have over 1,000 kids. Edgewood's I think's at like 600. They have over 1,000, but this school was modeled after Orange County Lutheran in California, which is basically the premise is it is designed to be an athletic Christian school. So like they don't really have any other specialty other than you go there. Well, since they're a private school, their recruiting rules are a little bit different.
Yeah.
So they pull kids from Colorado Springs, from way up north, from the mountains, from east. Right now, I think they have 8 Division I kids on their team. One of them's top 5 running back in the nation. They have a lineman that's going to Stanford. They're the real deal. They're good. That's where Christian McCaffrey went. That's where his dad Ed McCaffrey was a coach.
Okay.
The head football coach makes about $100,000. So
that's it, huh?
Just casually. So pretty big deal. But they're the 1 seed, and then it'll be between us and Cherry Creek. Cherry Creek's a big dog. They've won multiple state titles. They're 3,600 kids.
Have they lost?
Yeah, they've lost twice. So that's why we have a shot to be the 2, but based on their name, they're probably going to leapfrog us. And because that's unfortunately, that's just the way it works since we're the newbies, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. But last thing that happened this weekend that was pretty sweet is our girls softball team, because softball's played in the fall here. Our girls softball team won 5A state. So that was pretty sweet because that's the 3rd state championship in 5 years for us. And it's cool because the head softball coach is a fellow PE teacher. So she's a coworker of mine. So it's even cooler that I have that relationship with her there. So pretty sweet to see them win the 5A. And then the private school in Parker, which is Lutheran, they're a smaller school. So they're like an Edgewood. They're a 3A private school. So we're 5A, they're 3A. They won state softball as well. So two high schools within Parker both won state softball this weekend. Yeah. So good softball talent in the Parker area apparently. So
nice. For sure, Matt. What's up with you, man?
Not a whole lot here. This weekend, I went back home. Me and Sarah did. Sarah had a fellow Reedsburgian graduate, Allison McMillan. She actually was dress shopping for her wedding next year at Brides and Bells. So I went home for that. We got my parents, more specifically my mom, and a new iPad. Just because, I mean, their laptop they currently use is like massive, pretty slow, and also she's having surgery on her eye where she has to have her head down for, I think, what is it, Mike? How long? Do you remember how long it is?
A week, days, I think.
A couple days. Yeah, she's got to have her head down. So we've got an iPad, put Netflix on it, kind of all that stuff. So yeah, then we did that Saturday. Then we just kind of hung out. We visited Sarah's parents, obviously my parents, and then we saw some friends out. Came back today, kind of hung out. That's about it. What about you, Mike?
Well, I'm currently coming to you live from Cobourg, Ontario, Canada. It is about an hour and a half east of Toronto. Crazy couple days. I actually drove up to Thunder Bay, our hockey team at Northland. We played against Lakehead University. It's a Canadian university in Northern Ontario, Thunder Bay. It was really cool. I got to meet up with a couple of Matt and I's old teammates. Actually, I don't think Matt played with. So two of them was Matt Valley, and then the other one was Randall Hanlon. I think Matt might have just missed playing with him, but yeah, really good atmosphere. We probably played in front of. I mean, that's going to be one of the bigger crowds that we play in front of. Friday night, I think there was close to like 1,500 fans, and then on Saturday there probably was like 3,000 fans at the game. So really cool atmosphere. They typically play like UMD and Michigan Tech. And we were fortunate enough to get invited up there to play them this year. So we stuck with them, lost 4-3 on Friday, and then we're up 2-1 going into the third period on Saturday and ended up losing 4-2. But shots were dead even both nights. Saw a lot of good things, saw some bad things, which we'll correct during practice this week and getting ready for our home opener, which is next weekend. But today I'm actually in, so this morning I took a flight from Thunder Bay and flew to Toronto and then got a rental car. So I'm in Cobourg, Ontario doing some recruiting for a few days, trying to find some future Jacks and yeah, fly back Wednesday.
Well, that's obviously a good part of being competitive up there is you continue to play that team hopefully next year again, and hopefully you get those D1 teams coming to play against the Jacks, huh?
Well, I don't know if that will ever happen, but I shouldn't say that because there's obviously like there's sometimes like when me and Matt were in school, Finlandia went down to play like Alabama Huntsville. So like,
oh yeah, Adrian did quite a bit, didn't they?
Like it doesn't ever happen, but
and like you see like men's basketball, they'll play UW Oshkosh to start the year.
Yeah. So and even like our basketball team at Northland, like they'll go and play it. Who's the really? I know they play North Dakota. They play North Dakota, but is it South Dakota State that's really good?
Yeah, I think so. South Dakota State.
Yeah, so I think they play them, and then our men's team at Northland will play like Bemidji, St. Cloud. So sorry, they're actually our men's basketball team and women's are playing St. Thomas, which are D1 now.
Which are D1 now, yep.
So yeah, I guess it's more common than other sports, but hockey not as much. But yeah, we're hopefully going to play them again next year.
Did you see that St. Thomas got their first hockey win?
I did against Ferris State. They almost won on Friday.
Yeah. So. Wasn't sure how they would do this year, but for me, I guess my went to my sister's today. It was my sister Jenna's birthday, and celebrated that, and had a coach's hockey meeting last night at Neil's, who will be joining our podcast here in a few weeks. Talk about the upcoming season and his future. But let's see. So we're actually going to take just a heads up that next couple weeks are kind of busy. Next Sunday is Halloween. And then the following Sunday is just a really busy weekend for everybody. It just worked out that way. So just a little heads up to our viewers. But hopefully we'll try to sneak in an episode somewhere in there. But everybody watched the game today, the Packer game?
Yeah.
Did you guys all rush?
I did not.
Okay.
I was in and out of it.
Okay.
I was trying to wrangle a 3-year-old and watch it, but I saw the majority of it.
Well, from my perspective, and I watched most of it as well, that Taylor Heineke for Washington, it's not a bad quarterback.
No.
Not a bad play. He's a good athlete. And Washington's got some decent weapons there. Really solid front four. And, we won pretty handedly in the end. But I don't think that the score was, I think the score doesn't show how close the game was, I guess, in terms of competitiveness. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, watching the game, how many times did Washington kind of shoot themselves in the foot, just turning the ball over, or that Heineke when he fell going to the end zone, the ball didn't cross the play, and then the next QB sneaked it, didn't cross the plane. So it's right there, that changes the game, I believe, to 21-14. But their defense, I mean, they've been kind of, they're coming into the game, they're last in the NFL, but that front was constantly in our backfield. So, I thought they played well. Packers, obviously, I thought our defense played really well. We finally got 3 red zone stops, and we are finally, I think, 6 games in, finally stopped them in the red zone. So yeah, I mean, it was a good test. Obviously, we know what's coming up. Tough schedule, starting Thursday night with the undefeated Cardinals, but can never get past a day in the NFL.
So we got this tough schedule coming up, right? We got Arizona, there's Seattle in there who always plays us tough. The Rams in there,
Chiefs, I believe. Oh,
Chiefs, and then which we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
and then we go to Minnesota too, somewhere in there. So a lot of tough games, kind of coming up here. There was a question that I saw. So we had the question last week, where. Aaron was like, would you ever play for the Bears? And he said, absolutely not. I saw another similar question, and I'm failing to recall what it was. Just forget it. Never mind. So Stokes, I thought, actually played really good today as well, even though he got busted a couple of times by McLaurin. But
didn't he let up that giant touchdown?
Yeah. I think that was on him. But it's tough. I mean, I don't know. He was kind of just thrown into
that number one role.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be guarding number one wide receivers.
Kind of just walked up on him. And, we're doing all this stuff on defense without our best defensive players.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah, we're down 3 for sure. Playmaking starters. And I think the game would have been way different had we even had 2 of those dudes.
Oh, yeah.
If we have Alexander out there, I don't think McLaurin has the day he does. And I think if we could rush the passer a little bit, but in terms of Washington, I saw somewhere that like teams are actually struggling a little bit to run the football against them because of their front four. I mean, Chase Young is just an absolute animal. Like if I could somehow as a GM get Chase Young and Aaron Donald on the same defensive line, like it would be unbelievable. But their secondary is horrible. I mean, I think they're 32nd in the NFL for sure against the pass. And I think they're 32nd overall defense when you include points, yardage, all that stuff. But like if you look at our rushing game today, it was non-existent. You know, at one point it was like I think it was either start halftime or maybe right before half. Rodgers was our leading rusher, and he had like 21 yards. You know, and so they definitely did stop the run, but their secondary was so bad that Rodgers just picked them apart. You know, and some games that's the way it's going to be. Some games we're not going to be able to run it, but I'm just knowing that we're 6-1 now, right? Or 5-1?
6-1.
Knowing we're 6-1 going into a tough schedule, but also knowing that we're 6-1 basically without Alexander, without Zadarius Smith, without Preston Smith this week, without Bakhtiari, an all-pro stud left tackle, and we're still 6-1. Like, that's a good feeling, you know. Like even though we are going into a gauntlet and we're not going to have, maybe we get Bakhtiari back Thursday, but probably not. I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, they said Preston they held him out today so he could play Thursday.
Okay.
But I haven't heard anything about Bakhtiari.
And no Z Smith for the whole year, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And so we'll get Alexander back at some point. Bakhtiari, short week, I would doubt it.
Yeah.
But he's close. You know, he'll be, because if he doesn't play this Thursday, that'll give him another 10 days until our next game. So that's what my guess would be. But even though we do have a tough schedule, I feel pretty good being 6-1 with not having a full healthy roster. So we'll see.
Exactly.
We'll see.
Mike, you got anything to add to that?
Two things. Random. So the Canadian broadcast on this stuff is absolutely hilarious. So they didn't have the Packer game, but they had the highlights. Not the typical like highlights, but Mr. Tyler Henneke wears number 4 because of Brett Favre. I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Did they say he grew up in Wisconsin or he just grew up a Packer fan?
Let me check.
Because they said something during the broadcast, Mike, because they were talking about that, and I thought that was super cool that he modeled it. But I thought they mentioned something about he's either from Wisconsin or he grew up a Packer fan.
I'm a fan of him. I really am.
The jerseys were absolutely unbelievable. We need to wear those way more.
Agreed.
And from the Canadian media are absolutely already hyping up Thursday night.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Obviously,
Yep.
Big one Thursday night here.
I believe Scott Hansen on the old Red Zone said it will be the Thursday night matchup of the year, which I believe it probably would be because they usually play some pretty bad games on Thursday night.
Well, you got 6-1 versus 7-0, right?
Yeah.
The big I'm pretty sure almost every single primetime game has been like pretty good, has it not?
Yeah.
Or close anyways.
Yeah.
And I believe I just looked, the Cardinals opened up as 3.5-point favorites, which is probably, I mean, home field usually gets you a couple points.
Yeah.
So he was born in Georgia, but interesting enough, he went undrafted and the Minnesota Vikings signed him. So it sounds like it was the perfect situation for him, not to get to talk about Taylor Heineke, but it's a great situation.
And he's an XFL guy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Played for them in 2020. So sit behind Fitzpatrick, who is probably going to get hurt no matter where he went, unfortunately. But, so anyway, we'll see. Let's talk about Thursday real quick. What do you guys envision for Thursday? Do you guys envision it being a good ball game? Do you envision it being, man, these guys are undefeated? We're probably not going to be able to take this one.
My 2 cents real quick, and I'll keep this short, is I'm really concerned about typically when the Packers go up against a quarterback that can move out of the pocket like that, we usually don't play well.
Yeah, that's true.
And for those
Besides
of you who have
field.
never seen Kyler Murray, he's probably one of the fastest human beings that is on an NFL field. So I'm concerned about that. I am concerned about Hopkins. They're just so explosive.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
But on the flip
it's-
side of that, like if we can get, you know, some of our guys going and we have Rodgers, that's, I don't know. I got a feeling it's going to be. It might.
high
It's
scoring.
It's going to be a high scoring game.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can. I honestly can't get I don't have a feeling if we're going to win or lose. Like I can't decide yet. But the one thing I can decide is teams struggle to play defense on short rest. You know, they only got 3 games to plan for their opponent, so the defenses usually struggle. Yeah. Our defense is banged up, right? I mean, they got Hopkins, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, that Moore kid who's a little speed demon. They have Zach Ertz, and they have Murray, right? So like they got tons of weapons to a beat up secondary.
And I feel like we never when was the last time we won a game there?
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. Is so like Arizona played at home, and for some reason I feel like anytime we travel out west, especially now on a short week, like we just get blown out. Like
it's like that in baseball too.
I don't know. Like. I don't know what it is, but I just have a weird feeling. I mean, I think it's going to be close, but like Mike said, I mean, they have so many weapons, and now you look at it like Ertz had an unreal game today. They added him, so you got to figure Stokes is probably on Hopkins, and then after that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
But then when you flip the coin the other way. Arizona has at times given up quite a few pass yards.
Yeah.
And as long as we can slow down J.J. Watt and that other dude on the other side that I'm blanking on his name. He's the guy that had like 5 sacks week 1.
Is that Chandler Jones? No.
Yeah.
No, it's what the heck? What's his name? I think he's like number 55 or something, or I can't remember. Anyways, if we can contain those dudes, I think Rodgers and our weapons can score points against them. Like they have Budda Baker in the back. That dude's a stud. And they got some decent talent, but like Rodgers can beat good talent,
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to score. It's just going to be a matter if we could get enough stops defensively to win. Yeah, I think is what it might come down to. Now watch, it'll probably be like the Panthers Giants game, and it's going to be 5-5. It's going to be 5-3 at halftime.
What do we know? Yeah. Well, here since we're on the Cardinals, here's some questions for you guys. Are you surprised or no? That's kind of the name. Are you surprised that Arizona is 7-0? They haven't lost.
I'm not, because they had I forget what their record was to start the year last year, and then they slid quite a bit. I know.
Yeah,
They had a good start to the year last year too.
I mean, you add guy. I mean, like AJ Green is old, but I mean he's still balling. You add JJ Watt. I mean, they added pieces that can make them an undefeated team.
Are you surprised the Packers are 6-1?
No.
I am a little bit.
Where did you think? Where else did you think we might slip up?
I thought we would probably have. Well, I think the biggest thing, there was just so much uncertainty to the season. Like,
okay.
What did we? And then you get what we had from week 1, where it was.
Yeah.
We didn't even show up.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it puts even a little bit more doubt into the kind of how
basically,
I envision it.
After that 0-1 start, you're like, oh well, this could be a long season. I mean, I think we all had.
I think we all were. You can go back. We can go back and look at our podcast from that.
For sure, for sure.
Like,
I would agree.
Borderline on what watch.
We were pretty pissed.
Yeah.
Okay. The Cowboys are 5-1.
I'm not surprised by that at all.
Do you feel like the talent's there?
I feel like the offensive talent is
for
there.
Sure the offense. I didn't know about their defense.
Yep, I'm surprised this year with how their defense is playing, but it's not necessarily like their defense is playing good. Their offense is just scoring crap tons of points.
Yeah.
But
Bengals are 5-2.
I'm surprised by that.
I am too.
Hey, I think week 1 I made a comment saying, "Hey, that team is going to be good."
But I had them in the same boat as the Cowboys, where like offensively, weapons galore, but defensively is where they've always been exposed. But this year, that same thing, their defense is doing enough. I mean, they held Lamar Jackson to 17 points today.
Yeah,
so two AFC West teams left. The Raiders, who are leading the AFC West 5-2. You guys surprised by that?
Yes,
I'm surprised by that. Yeah,
I thought it'd be the Broncos.
They won't be by the end of the year.
No, I agree with that.
I would agree. And that brings us to the Chiefs, who are 3-4.
Big surprise.
I can't believe that.
3-4.
Big surprise.
I saw somewhere Patrick Mahomes had minus fantasy points at half today.
He did.
So,
but don't worry, Matt still beat me, so it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's jump. We haven't talked NHL at all.
Hey, Green, real quick, we're gonna quick jump into a quick ad break here. For those of you looking to get a Christmas tree this season, look no further than Wagner Tree Farms. Wagner Tree Farms is a big supporter of the Berg Boys podcast.
Yeah.
They're located in Linden Station. I've personally never been there. Chris, I know you can probably speak on that a little bit. You've been there. I'm more of an artificial guy, but there's a lot of people that that's kind of the new cool trend is to get a real Christmas tree. So if you're looking for a real Christmas tree, look no further than Wagner Tree Farms. They're located in Linden Station. They're at N2477 24th Avenue, Linden Station, Wisconsin. I heard the place is unreal. They got a bunch of cool stuff inside their barn too, apparently.
Yeah, no, it's Mom's been going there for a while now because our family has always cut down a real tree the day after Thanksgiving. But no, it's sweet. Their setup is awesome. They're super helpful with everything. They have a little warming house with hot chocolate, coffee, cookies, all that stuff for you. And then they have this huge shed with all the Christmas decorations that they make and wreaths and all that stuff. But super awesome.
Get a Saturday trip with your family. Go check out Wagner Tree Farms.
Yep. Well, and then what we do if you want to add to it, families, is what's that place called right there on the corner in Linden Station? Is it Norm's? Does that sound right?
That's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we always stop at Norm's and get lunch after we cut down the trees, and that place is amazing.
A beer and a burger.
So, nothing better after cutting down a Christmas tree and sometimes mud, sometimes snow. You never know. You're just laying in that ground, just sawing away. So
that's true.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be checking it out this year. Hopefully get a sweatshirt if they get it. But NHL, let's check up on our team standings here. We kind of adapted, I believe, at the end of the year last year. Matt's St. Louis Blues fan. So
whoa.
I think that's what we decided.
But you're in good hands, Matt. You're 4-0.
Well, okay. I was thinking this year I might just jump on the Seattle Kraken, but I couldn't get myself to do it.
Okay. Well, you're a Blues fan.
All right.
Minnesota's 4-1. They just lost. Colorado's 2-3, but they've been dealing with some injuries, some COVID stuff. And Chicago, 0-4. They're dealing with some COVID stuff too, though. Patty Kane's been.
They're awful.
Yeah,
they have no defense. Fleury, you can tell Fleury played in front of one of the best defenses in the NHL last year.
Yeah, and the defense just doesn't get enough credit for that in the NHL. They just don't.
Chicago's awful. They're brutal.
Well, so I guess Mike and I won't be going to a Blackhawks game anytime soon.
They're probably cheap tickets though, maybe.
Yeah, they might be soon. NBA, the Bucks are defending champions, are 2-1. They had kind of a rough loss to the Heat a couple nights ago, and it's kind of funny when you see something like that. You got people on their high horses that want to downplay anytime you win a championship.
Oh yeah,
they make comments like, you were half an inch of Durant's shoe and Kyrie healthy for moving on, or had you played the Lakers when they were healthy, there's no way you could have beat them. Things like that. And now now you lost to the Heat who took your best defensive player. And so it's just funny that easy to forget about how much how successful they were, and people are easy to not give you the credit that you're still due. Rosh, did you have something you want to say? It looked like you wanted to say something there.
No, I'm just trying to debate if I hear my son and my dog battling outside the door right now. So I'm trying to decide if I'm just going to let it go or go check on them. So
have you guys tuned in to any of the TNT stuff at all yet for hockey?
I did a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I seen Bissonnette on there. Yeah.
What?
Bissonnette's on there. He's a pretty funny guy. So.
Oh
yeah.
Or is that ESPN? I don't know.
No, that's TNT.
Oh, he's on TNT. Him and Gretzky.
Didn't they get like Charles Barkley or somebody on like the opening night?
Yeah, he suited up in a goalie.
I like that guy.
I thought that was cool doing the crossover sport. I thought that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, Matt, what do you got for Badgers for us?
So, Badger football. Obviously, we could talk a little bit about that if you want. Actually, probably, honestly, their best. They looked probably the best they have all year, I guess. Beat up on Purdue at half. It was 13-13, but we should have probably been up more. But the big game is this weekend against, I believe they're 7, maybe Iowa. I think it's 7. And crazy enough, the Badgers are favored by 3 points, which I do not understand.
Let's take that action.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Vegas obviously knows something we don't, but
well, Iowa doesn't score a lot of points.
The over/under is set at 36, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But they're playing for what's that trophy called? It has that like God, I think there's like a hog on it, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's a big pig or something.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, that's those guys won. Volleyball actually had a big comeback against Penn State. I saw. I think they were down 2-0 actually, came back and won. They're obviously, I think they're third in the nation. They're obviously always going to be up there. I think women's hockey swept Ohio State, if I recall. They're obviously always going to be up there as well. And I believe men's hockey, I didn't see the Saturday result, but I saw they got beat up pretty hard Friday night. That's from St. Cloud State, who are they number 1, Mike?
3, I think.
3? Yeah, they're a good squad.
Michigan lost. Michigan was 1. They lost, but UMD had a huge. I think Duluth swept Minnesota this weekend.
So yeah, that's it. The women's sports right now are killing it for the Badgers, which they're usually at the top. Men's hockey, obviously young, and Badger football, obviously we talked about before. Big weekend ahead for them, and like I say, guys, they went out. We'll see you in Indianapolis.
Gosh, and I just don't know how I feel.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It just doesn't seem right.
No.
Let's see.
What does seem right, Jeremy, is the seasons are changing right now, and that's going to bring us to our next sponsor, which we'd like to give a big shout out to Craft D's in Reedsburg. Craft D's, that's actually our cousin who owns that. They offer a wide selection of custom art pieces handmade by Deanna Combs. Very cool place. Check them out. Crafties is a family-ran business with emphasis on building relationships in the community of Reedsburg, help support Reedsburg businesses. So give Crafties a check out next time. Let me get their address here for you, Jay Green. They're
right across from the post office, isn't
yes,
it?
They are.
Yes, it is.
Walnut Street.
Hey, so what was the score of the women's hockey against Ohio State?
They won in 3-on-3 today.
Yeah.
Sports Center top 10 play.
Oh, nice. Okay. Very nice. Well, I got a little activity, guys, and then we can be.
I had a quick shout out though too.
Let's hear it, man. That's right.
I'm gonna give a shout out to the Reedsburg volleyball team. They are the number 1 seed in their section, which I did not know. I knew they had a good squad, but they will be playing 6th seed River Valley on Thursday night, and that is a sectional semifinal. And if they win, they will face either St. Croix Central who was the 1 seed or the number 2 seed in the other side, Baldwin Woodville, for a trip to state, which Beavers have never been in volleyball. And I'm assuming like it's probably like any other sport, that sectional will probably be at a neutral site, I would guess.
Yeah, and I did notice, that a lot, just some good athletes.
Yeah.
From
Because correct me if I'm wrong, I think a lot of the girls that are on the basketball team that is obviously very successful as on the volleyball team as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. I think so. So yeah, that is really cool. Wish them the best of luck, and hopefully they don't have to go all the way up to Baldwin or all the way.
I couldn't imagine that. Yeah.
Right. I saw Mawson had to play Northwestern, which is up by Neil's cabin, 4.5 hours away.
Playoff game?
Yeah, 4.5 hours away.
That's Ashland's rival.
Yeah, they're right by you. That's crazy.
Jeez.
And they lost pretty bad, so that kind of sucks too. But...
long bus ride home.
Yeah. School bus too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, hey, so speaking of that, just giving a little shout out to our football program. I just found out this weekend that we bought a coach bus.
Jeez.
So we now have our own.
You just decided to go and buy a coach bus, huh?
You can actually buy those. They're not as expensive as you think.
No, it wasn't, and we bought it at an auction in California. And it was just a company that went bankrupt, and so all their coach buses were for sale, and so
they're actually really just because of COVID, they're actually like pretty reasonable right now. They're not like
really.
Yeah.
So we got it. One of our coaches has a CDL, and he just has to get it take the test to get renewed, and we're gonna put a skin on it, to get it all decked out. But we're very fortunate here, but that just kind of added a little bit of icing on top of the cake.
All right. So the activity, mentioned it to you guys earlier. I had the chance to have a conversation with Janelle, and that's Mike and Matt's mom. And just a couple of these questions are really who was better at this or who did this better or whatever. And we're going to ask Mike and Matt these questions, see which ones they thought that their mom would have guessed. Okay. So which one, Mike or Matt, was better at staying out of trouble growing up?
Me, by far.
I'd say me.
Am I guessing?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm going to say Matt.
She said neither of them got in trouble much, but Mike did more than that. So, Matt, you got that one. Which one had better grades?
Matt.
I don't know.
I'm going to say Matt.
Matt had better grades in high school.
I'm going to say
in high
Matt
school,
too,
in high school.
But that's a close one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll go with me. Okay,
so Mike actually got it right. Matt had better grades in high school, but Mike had the better grades in college.
Yeah.
A little too much partying for Matt there.
Yeah.
We'll blame it on Stevens Point too.
Yes.
I don't know why I asked this one. Who is more responsible / trustworthy?
Me.
She's gonna say both of us. She's not gonna pick one of those.
I'm gonna say Matt.
Matt was always responsible with his belongings, but Mike tended to lose or forget things. In fact, when Matt was in kindergarten, we would put the house key in his book bag instead of Mike's.
I remember that.
Okay. Who is better at helping Big Mike in the garage or outside?
I'm going to go Mike.
Matt.
I'm going to go Mike.
Neither have Big Mike's fix-it skills or mechanical skills.
That's a fact.
But both are really good at mowing lawn, and Michael always helped out with the shoveling.
There you go.
Okay. Last one. What were the boys' favorite toys growing up? She put one for each of you.
I mean, I don't know about toys, but I was obsessed with Scooby-Doo, so it had to have been something Scooby-Doo.
You were. I remember that.
Yes.
I remember that.
I
That's
love
not what she said.
Scooby-Doo.
That's not what
Okay.
she said.
I have
Mike,
no
what do you-
idea.
I have no idea.
Mike was really big into Tonka trucks and farm toys, and Matt was obsessed with Light Bright.
Oh, is that the?
The little peg thing.
Oh, I
yeah.
love that. Oh,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah. So, obviously, you know, Chris, that I will be speaking with Debbie coming up here, and you know, we can go the significant other route since I can't. There's no way for that to come back and hit me down the road. So, other than that, kind of a short episode today. But like I said, like we said, we're going to be off for a little bit here, just with kind of the holiday falling on a Sunday, some playoffs, and then hunting season. So it may not be a Sunday, but we'll be on again shortly, and just continue to appreciate your support. And if you want any advertisement from us, if you want to come on and talk at all, feel free to reach out to one of us. So thank you to Reedsburg Cable again for reaching out to us and putting us on Reedsburg Cable. I think we all think that's pretty cool. So
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, everybody take care and have a nice week.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Thank you. See ya.
Take care.